Hi everyone, Sandeep here. Welcome back to the dashboards. Today I am going to talk about pretty amazing for product owners and Scrum Masters. Today I will deep dive into most difficult part of the product development, that is sprint planning, and how a product manager or product owner can use AI tools for their end-to-end sprint planning. Today I will not just go theoretical, I will show you live demo taking a big idea like Epic, break it down into stories, creating task, subtask, doing the estimation and uploading that into Jira. And all we will do that in minutes. Agile team, you must be knowing how it goes. Endless grooming meetings, writing stories after stories, creating tasks, subtasks in Jira, doing the estimations, creating sprint backlog. This takes a lot of valuable time of product owners and scrum masters. But today, with the help of AI like ChatGPT or Gemini, we can do all these works in minutes. All right, let's hear this interesting conversation I have recorded in Notebook LM for you.
So what's the scenario we're using?
We're using a great example from the source material. Imagine you're a product owner at an insurance company. Big task. Integrate a new payment method, let's say a UPI payment gateway for paying out insurance claims faster.
Okay, that's a decent-sized project.
Definitely. That whole initiative, integrating the gateway, that's your epic. And if you've ever broken down something like that manually, well, you know the drill. Hours, days sometimes.
Right, lots of meetings, lots of back and forth.
Precisely. That's the pain point we're aiming to solve, or at least significantly reduce.
So step one is prompting the AI, right? How do you kick that off?
You basically tell the AI its role and give it the core task. Something like, act as a product owner for an insurance product using Jira. Break down this epic. Integrate payment gateway, UPI, into insurance payout system. I need detailed user stories and technical tasks.
Okay, straightforward enough.
But here's the kicker, the really important part of that first prompt. You add a constraint. You tell it. Make sure every story and task has detailed descriptions and the acceptance criteria in given when-then format.
Okay, so you're not just asking what to build, but also how to confirm it's built correctly
No.
right from the start.
Exactly. That given when-then structure, that's often, added later or done inconsistently.
Yeah.
Forcing it early provides immediate clarity.
It turns a vague list into something much more, well, engineer ready, defines done.
Precisely. It saves so much ambiguity down the line. It's about enforcing good practice automatically.
And what does the AI actually spit out? Is it just one big story?
No. And that's the beauty of it. It understands complexity. It breaks it down logically. You'll get separate user stories for things like the front end changes the customer sees, the back end logic, maybe handling payment status updates via webhooks.
Compliance stuff too, I imagine.
Oh yeah, compliance, any admin tools needed internally. It segments the work pretty intelligently.
Which, again, normally takes a long meeting, right? Whiteboarding, debating how to split things up.
Exactly. This gives you a really solid first draft of that breakdown, capturing both the user-facing parts and the technical necessities. It skips a huge chunk of that initial, often tedious decomposition work.
Okay, so the AI defines the what and the why pretty well. That's already a win. But planning isn't just definition. You need numbers.
Right. Now we get into the slightly trickier part, estimation. Story points, where product owners and dev teams often, let's say, have robust discussions.
Yeah, robust discussions is one way to put it. So I have to ask, can AI really replace a team's experience for estimating? How good are these points?
That's the critical question, isn't it? And the answer is nuanced. It's not about replacing the team's final judgment. Think of it as providing a really strong starting point, an informed proposal.
Okay, so how do you ask for that?
The next prompt is pretty direct. Assign story points using the Fibonacci series for these stories. Also identify key dependencies and any potential risks or blockers.
Fibonacci, okay, so 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, the standard scale.
Yep, and the AI uses its training data, which includes tons of software projects, to make an educated guess. It knows integrating a payment gateway is more complex than, say, updating a UI label. So it comes back with a table. Story, points maybe an 8 here, a 13 there, a 5 over here.
But it's more than just the numbers, right? You mentioned dependencies.
Crucially, yes, it maps out the flow. It might show, for example, user story 1 has to happen before user story 2, which enables user story 3, and so on, like a mini workflow. US1, US2, US3, US4.
That's incredibly useful. Avoids that classic problem where someone starts work and immediately gets blocked because a prerequisite isn't done.
Exactly. It helps sequence the sprints logically right from the start. Saves that downstream pain.
And risks. What kind of risks does it flag?
This is where it gets interesting. It acts like an experienced project manager almost. The source material showed it flagging things like PSP sandbox instability, PSP being the payment service provider.
Right, the third-party payment company, their test system might be unreliable. That's a classic integration headache.
Totally. Or potential encryption delays, things that could genuinely derail the timeline. It surfaces these potential blockers early so you can plan for them.
Okay, but what about that 13-pointer? Most teams I know try to break those down. They're too big, too risky for one sprint.
And that's exactly what you do next. This isn't a one-shot deal, it's a conversation. You see the 13, you know it's too big, so you tell the AI. Break down the stories with 13 story points into smaller, more manageable stories.
And it does.
Yep, it takes that big chunk, maybe it was full PSP integration, and slices it. You might get back 4 smaller stories. PSP API integration, maybe 5 points. Background worker and retry logic, 3 points. Webhook listener, 3 points. And error handling and reporting, 2 points. Something like that.
Much better. Smaller, clearer deliverables, less risk per story.
Exactly. Refined, manageable chunks ready for planning.
Okay, so now we have refined stories, estimates, dependencies. We're getting close to an actual plan.
Very close.
Yeah.
Now we layer on the team's capacity. We move into auto planning.
How does that work? You just tell it the team's velocity.
Pretty much. You provide that key constraint. Based on these stories, dependencies, and points, create sprint plans for 2-week sprints. Assume my team's velocity is 22 story points per sprint.
And using that velocity, the estimates, the dependencies, it just lays out the sprints.
It does. It generates a roadmap. You get a clear output, often a table, sprint number, maybe a sprint goal or focus, the total story points allocated, and the key user stories or deliverables planned for that sprint.
Wow. So you'd see something like Sprint 1, focus on UPI setup and core architecture, taking maybe 20 points.
Exactly. And it maps it all out sequentially. You might see Sprint 5, reconciliation, final testing, and go-live prep, consuming the last batch of points.
That's incredibly fast for getting a draft project timeline. Huge for setting expectations with stakeholders.
Absolutely. It provides that high-level forecast almost instantly.
Right.
It gets even better.
How so?
Visualization. Stakeholders, managers,
Yeah.
they don't usually want to squint at a backlog table. They want a picture.
Ah, the Gantt chart? Or something similar?
Precisely. You can ask the AI,
Mm.
generate a Gantt-style sprint roadmap based on this plan. The source material even mentioned it uses tools like Python and Matplotlib behind the scenes to actually create the chart image.
So it's coding the visualization for you. That's the aha moment, isn't it?
I think so. It takes all that structured data sprints, stories, durations based on points, dependencies, and turns it into that visual timeline everyone understands. And you can usually ask for it in different formats, like download a PNG or PDF.
Perfect for dropping into a presentation or an email update. Instantly translates the technical plan into management speak.
That's the power, bridging that communication gap.
Okay, plan, mapped out, visualized. What's left? Getting it ready for the dev team, right? Making it usable in their tools.
Exactly. We need that structure they use day to day. Typically something like Jira with its hierarchy.
Epic at the top,
Yeah.
then stories, then the specific tasks, dev tasks, QA tasks, maybe ops tasks.
Correct. That granular level needed for sprint execution.
So another prompt.
A final refinement prompt focusing on, say, the upcoming sprint. Reorder the content for Sprint 1. I need it in a Jira hierarchical format. Epic user stories, tasks. Show me this Sprint 1 backlog.
And the output looks like, what?
It looks ready to import, you'll see. Epic. Integrate payment gateway. UPI. US1. Add UPI payout option. Dev 1.1. Implement UI changes. QA 1.5. Write test cases for UI flow. Awava's 1.7. Prepared database migration script. That clear nested structure, ready for sprint kickoff.
And this is where that killer pro tip from the source comes in, the real efficiency booster.
Oh yeah, the final step. Because the AI usually gives you this structured output, often in a table or easily convertible format. You can typically export the output as a CSV file.
A comma-separated value file, standard spreadsheet format.
Right. And tools like Jira, Azure DevOps, most modern backlog tools have a bulk create or bulk import feature that accepts CSVs.
No way! So you skip manually typing in every single ticket.
You skip it entirely. Upload the CSV, map the column, summary, description, story points, task type, and boom. Your Sprint 1 backlog is populated in seconds.
Okay, that is a game changer. That could save someone like a whole day of tedious admin work.
Easily.
Oh.
Especially for a large epic with many tasks. #outro put.
So let's recap the flow here. It feels almost too easy. We went from one sentence to epic to a full, estimated, multi-sprint plan.
Complete with acceptance criteria, dependencies identified, risks flagged.
Visualized in a roadmap, and finally structured perfectly for a Jira bulk import, all through a series of prompts.
It's a massive shortcut, no question. It takes what was hours, maybe days, of manual grooming, discussion, and data entry, and condenses it significantly.
It really shifts the product owner's focus, doesn't it? Less time on the mechanics, more on the input quality.
Precisely. Ensuring the initial epic definition is good, ensuring the velocity input is realistic, guiding the refinement.
So what does this all mean? Thinking bigger picture now, we saw basically 5 steps. Define the epic clearly, ask the AI to break it into stories with criteria, add intelligence like story points and risks, auto-plan sprints based on velocity, and finally generate that ready-to-import backlog structure.
Right.
All right, that was how a product manager can use AI tools for their day-to-day work. If you like the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe this video. I'll be coming up with more useful videos for product managers. Thanks for watching.